Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to another incredible episode of Urban Nerd Weekly. Today is Wednesday, February the 26th, and it's episode 9 of season 5. Thanks for tuning in and nerding out with us today, you guys. On today's Nerd News Update, Kobe and Gianna Bryant were recently remembered in a nice ceremony. Harvey Weinstein was found guilty on sex crimes case. YouTube temporarily bans a popular account creating the longest video ever, and the TSA bans employees from using TikTok. Today's topic, we pay homage to the legendary urban nerd, Katherine Johnson. So tune in, nerd out, to today's episode of Urban Nerd.
Hey, it's your boy Spreaker, man. I got a new podcast out I want y'all to subscribe to, bro. It's called Urban Nerd Weekly, available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play Music. My
Back up in the shit. I just like some couple beats. I'm about to hit the stick, so go and follow me on Twitch. Now watch me crank that urban. Now watch me crank that urban. Watch me crank that urban. Now watch me crank that urban nerd. Spaceship back up in this bitch. Hey, what's happening? Hey man, don't ever forget that if you ever want to listen to the whole entire intro, you can always check out my SoundCloud page, soundcloud.com/space was here, and there you can check out the entire intro song as well as all of my parody songs, and I even have a couple of original songs on there. And while you're there, make sure you check out the snack pack. But right about now, it's time to get into today's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly. All right, so once again, I gotta hold it down, Dolo. Nano Kitty Cat is actually doing work for Urban Nerd Weekly outside of the show today, so I'm gonna hold it down as far as today's recording is concerned. But y'all make sure y'all hit her up on the Urban Nerd Weekly Facebook page. As a matter of fact, before we get into anything, let me let y'all know we reside on these digital streets, on this virtual block. You can find us at Urban Nerd Weekly on Twitter, Instagram, at Facebook, at Urban Nerd Weekly, all spelled correctly, no underscores, no dashes, no spaces, of course. And you can also make sure you subscribe to the show on any and all platforms. The pro membership for Urban Nerd Weekly has been renewed, bitches. So we back up, we back on. I'm invested in myself, and then yeah, bitch, that's right. We back on though. Yeah. So back to the usual. Y'all can catch us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn, motherfucking Outcast, Shoutbox, iHeart Podcasts, pretty much everything except Spotify. We still working on the Spotify shit. But we coming soon though. So if you listen, first of all, if you listen to this episode, I would really appreciate it if you're listening, however you're listening right now, until we can get on Spotify, if you still prefer to listen on Spotify. We will be there soon, but make sure you guys subscribe on all the different platforms, and if you already subscribed, make sure you like, rate, and comment on the show so we can rise up in the rankings and everybody know why we the big bad kahunas known as the Earthling Gangs. Okay, so I was drinking a little bit before today's episode. That's why that just happened. But all in all, I still meant everything I said, so please make sure you subscribe. Right about now, we're going to get into today's digital download. And then right after that, we're going to continue on with the show a little bit. Today's digital download is pretty cool, though. Check it out. On today's digital download, in the video game section, we got 2 Point Hospital, available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch on February the 25th. On February the 28th, we got Marvel's Iron Man VR for PlayStation Virtual Reality. And we got One Man Punch, a hero nobody knows, available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. In the movie section, coming out on February the 28th, we got The Invisible Man. And in the book section, we got The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller. We got Rebel Wing by Andrea Tang. Bent Heavens by Daniel Cross. Red Hood by Elena K. Arnold, and The Truth App by Jack Hoth. And you can find all these on Goodreads, Amazon, and Book Depository. Alright, so that was this week's digital download, and we're going to get right into the nerd news update. But before that, I want to remind you guys about some of the other content we got floating around on these internets. Make sure you guys check out my video Scrub No More. It's available on Instagram and YouTube. I don't know why I'm doing that, but lately I just been putting all my shit like on both platforms. So yeah, man, make sure you check that shit out, whether you're on YouTube and Instagram. Check my video Scrub No More, as well as some other videos, my official videos. There it is on my channels. That one's all about me finally. If anybody been fucking with me for a long time, y'all know I was the no car having this motherfucker on the earth. I was the please can I get a ride head ass nigga. I was the bruh, I got $5 for gas face ass nigga for a long time. Now I finally got my own car, and I had to make me a video about that shit. So make sure y'all check that out, man. Also, please check out, I mentioned it earlier, but please check out the snack pack. Got my parodies on deck, as well as one freestyle I did too, that you name it beat. And I got more shit coming out real soon, man. I got some to that Lil Baby Whoa. I got some for that Roddy Ricch, the box and shit. Like, I got a bunch of shit coming out, man. So y'all make sure y'all stay ready for that, bro. But on another note, we're gonna slide on right over into today's nerd news update, which is actually pretty fucking jam-packed today. A lot of shit going on in these digital streets this week. First off, on some slight work, y'all know I love hip hop music. I'm a late 20-something, so when I was 18, you know what I'm saying, it was the turn up era, and so two acts are back on the scene, and I'm happy as fuck about it. Like, first of all, Soulja Boy is finally out of jail now. He got out back on Instagram a couple of days ago, said Draco back, let's turn up. And I ain't gonna lie, from deep within, there was a deep, profound level of the desire to turn up for me. Like, for real. Like, I was so happy. Also, Travis Porter announced that they're coming out with new music. And I don't know if you guys know who they are, but if you ever heard All the Way Turned Up, like, that was Travis Porter that made the song popular. They had the song with Tiger. They had two songs with Tiger, right? Like, so many fucking hits. Like, for me, it's hard to remember what their hit songs were, because I was a hardcore Travis Porter fan. Like, I listened to every mixtape the fucking day it came out, front to back, 3 times before I went to sleep, bitch. Like, I'm a very huge Travis Porter fan, so I'm excited just at the notion that they got new music in the can. Been following them on Instagram, and they've been doing a lot more. It's a lot more shit on their lives lately. So yeah, it's a very exciting time to be a differenter. That's, if you didn't know, that's what they call their fans, is we are the differenter gang. So differenter gang assemble. Travis P back in the building. Time to suit up, fellas. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. Over the past week, also, Kobe and Gianna Bryant were laid to rest celebrity style, and by that I mean they already had like the private funeral homegoing ceremony for Kobe and Gianna Bryant, as well as the rest of the people who passed away in that horrid helicopter crash, which, by the way, Vanessa Bryant, which is Kobe Bryant's wife, is suing the helicopter company. And I hope you win, shouty, cause that's fucked up, man. You know, big shouts, big sorrows, or you know what I'm saying, big ups to LA, man. Y'all gotta stay strong right now. Y'all done lost Nipsey and Kobe within a year of each other, man. It ain't even been a whole year since Nipsey, bruh. He was just right there, bruh. He was just on motherfucking Breakfast Club, and I remember, like, I've been listening. I listened to Nipsey for a long ass time, and well, not long ass time. But I listened to Nipsey, like, Nipsey first started dropping music when I got out of high school and shit. And like, him and Wiz Khalifa was two people I kind of listened to, like, a little bit on and off, just because they had quality shit. I'm talking about Nipsey. But yeah, so Kobe and Gianna Bryant were laid to rest in a more, you know, big celebrity type fashion, where there was performances and, you know, people that gave testament. You know, Michael Jordan actually gave us a new crying Jordan face, because he was legit crying about the fact that, you know, Kobe Bryant is going. You know, even Shaq came to speak, because, you know, him and Shaq, they ain't get along so well towards the end of, you know, them last couple of Laker years together. They weren't quite as chummy as they had been before, and then afterwards they never really pieced things together. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like when Eazy-E died, And you know what I'm saying, Cube and Dre still kind of felt sad about it. It was like, we was, you know what I'm saying, like brothers get into it all the time, but that don't stop them from being your brother. You know what I'm saying? I got two guys that I have no biological brothers, but there's like 2 or 3 dudes that I seriously consider my brothers. And like 2 of them I don't even get to communicate with often. And one of them, me and him had went, like, not even just on purpose, just on some, those were the years we were turning from boys to men type shit. Just didn't speak for a while. And then, homie reached out and I finally was doing a little better, so I wasn't in my fucking emo comedian boy cocoon where I didn't want to fuck with nobody, and I was sarcastically pretending like it was everyone else's fault. But yeah, so it was good to see Shaq come out and even he, paid homage and paid his respects to his fallen brother. You know what I mean? I think all in all, we lost someone that definitely, is an embodiment of what it takes to be successful in general. You know what I mean? Mamba mentality was a real thing. You know what I'm saying? If you doubt that it's a mentality that it takes to get that far, you gotta look at Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne openly admits that he had kept the Mamba mentality. Like, he was the Kobe Bryant of the Cash Money Records empire. You know what I mean? That's undeniable. Yes, there was the Magic Johnson, i.e. Juveniles. Yes, there was the Shaquille O'Neal, i.e. the BGs. Yes, there was the Phil Jacksons making sure everything was going straight, i.e. Birdman. But you gotta admit, Kobe Bryant was Mr. LA Lakers, just like Weezy F was Cash Money. Well, he's definitely still Young Money. But, it's just, So, for a final, one last time, rest in peace to Kobe, the Black Mamba, and Gianna Bryant, Mamba 2, because she was definitely gonna be that motherfucker in the game. You know what I'm saying? The next generation Kobe Bryant, because Kobe had all girls, which, they say you earned that if that happens to you. But yeah. So on to the next topic on today's Nerd News Update. Harvey Weinstein was found guilty on 2 counts in the sex crimes case. Now, if you didn't know, if you ever heard of the whole Me Too movement, that was spurred by a lot of females that had an issue with a big-time executive Hollywood producer by the name of Harvey Weinstein and other men in similar positions as him, and that they use their position of fame and the ability to make you famous or whatever have you and turn that into, sexual advances, sexual favors, and what these women have described as predatory sexual behavior, which he was found innocent of. He was found not guilty in any predatory sexual behaviors. However, he was found guilty on 1 count of first-degree sexual assault and 1 count of rape in the 3rd degree. And I felt like I was the guy that read the verdict in the episode of Law and Order SVU just now when I said that shit, because it just felt so weird to say. Like, that's... But the other... He was charged with 5. He was charged with 5, but he only got 2. He was only found guilty 2 counts. And, it's just been really weird the way that the media has been handling this. And by that, I mean, when Bill Cosby and R. Kelly were getting accused of what they were getting accused of, it was everywhere. You couldn't escape that shit. Like, every day I got on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Fox News, Channel 5, Channel 2, MSNBC, NBC. Like, everywhere we saw Bill Cosby just getting reamed for some chicks he allegedly fucked in their sleep like 40 years ago. Yet, Harvey Weinstein just got found guilty the other day, and there was very little coverage of his trial the entire time the trial was going on. Like, as a matter of fact, we've been hearing more shit about Trump in the time that Harvey Weinstein has been getting tried for his sex crimes than anyone else. I don't know about you guys, but hey, look, a distraction. Yeah. So that's the one on Harvey Weinstein. So we'll, as the black community, we'll be very interested to see if he actually does any time for this shit. So, but yes, Harvey Weinstein's been found guilty on 2 counts. One of sexual assault in the 1st degree, one of rape in the 3rd degree. And I don't even know what the fuck rape in the 3rd degree is. But it just sounds like a really convenient way to say, hey, okay, so he like kind of raped her, but not for real. Like, what kind of shit is that even? Like, is there even a thing where you can just kind of rape somebody? I don't think that's how it works, man. But yeah, so that's all on that particular story. On to the next story. YouTube temporarily bans an account and it creates the longest video ever.
According to Mike, over the weekend, YouTube temporarily created one of the longest videos of all time. Chilled Cow, the popular lo-fi hip-hop beats live stream featuring an anime girl endlessly doing homework, was mistakenly suspended and terminated.
Okay, so some kind of way I accidentally activated the Google Voice shit, so it heard me talking during the show. That's why I paused, because I felt my phone vibrate, and I looked down, and it's like looking up the shit that I'm talking about now. And since that happened, I'm gonna just go ahead and conveniently read whatever the fuck popped up. So, YouTube accidentally creates a 13,000-hour lo-fi hip-hop video this weekend. Over the weekend, and this is according to Mic.com. So, whatever website I was gonna use, I'm sorry. But the Mic.com just scooped your ass. Over the weekend, YouTube temporarily created one of the longest videos of all time. Chilled Cow, the popular lo-fi hip-hop beats live stream featuring an anime girl endlessly doing homework, was mistakenly suspended and terminated. As The Verge points out, which is probably the website I was going to use, The Verge. This created more than 13,000-hour video with all of the stream's 218 million views occurred since 2018. Excuse me. The user behind Chilled Cow, a 25-year-old named Dimitri, posted to his more than 30,000 Twitter followers that the account had been suddenly shut down on Saturday due to an unspecified violation of YouTube's terms of service. YouTube support account responded the following morning, confirming that it was unintended. Thanks for flagging this to us. Our teams confirmed that this was a mistake on our side and your channel has now been reinstated, it wrote. We're sorry this happened. We shared feedback with our review team to prevent similar errors from happening in the future. The stream is back up and running now with the same looping animation it became known for. More than 40,000 other people are watching the stream as I write this. That said, a flood of other users got in the replies to demand further answers from YouTube about why this specific ban occurred. And what happened, what steps are being taken to ensure it won't happen to other channels with smaller followings. The success of an account like Chilled Cow relies on a certain unspoken understanding with YouTube, which could reserve the right to pull the plug if they deem intellectual property violations to cross a line. Chilled Cow was previously banned for several months in 2017 for using GIF from Studio Ghibli's Whisper of the Heart without permission, and Chill Hop Records was shut down over a similar image copyright violation. Since these channels have a sort of porous relationship to intellectual property rules, they always run the risk of being terminated without notice. The users operating them will often get permission from artists on their inclusion in the stream, but they're familiar with the inherent risks and permanence of this sort of channel. It's a loose private alternative to the big algorithmic vibe playlist popularized by Spotify, Apple. I think they meant to put Spotify, but they definitely put Spotify. And I don't know if they meant to put Spotify or if they didn't want to use Spotify's name, but they definitely put Spotify, Apple Music, and Pandora with a clearer authorial presence and sense of community on the chat widget. Mostly, it makes studying or work feel a bit more fun than throwing on something curated by a service's data accumulation. You're a little closer to the person consuming the stream and the tens of thousands trying to get in the zone alongside you all over the world. And yeah, so basically what happened was, and I've actually witnessed this channel before because I was at a friend's house. Me and my girl, we have a couple that we are really cool with, and we went to their house to their kids' first birthday party, and they were actually playing chill hop shit on the fucking TV. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was amazingly curated. Like, it kept the vibe perfect for the whole event. Like, yeah, it was the kid's first birthday party, but you know, a first birthday party is really just fucking excuse for the adults that have kids or about to have kids, or you know what I'm saying, and whatever, to get together and hang out with one another. Because people with kids, they don't have a lot of time outside of dealing with their kid. Like, I'm gonna be there in a couple of months, so you know, that's what the birthday party is really an excuse for. But yeah, I actually liked the musical selection on the channel. I thought it was really fucking, it was mellow as shit. Like, Chill Cow was a weird name, but I got it because cows are like some of the chillest fucking animals on the earth. But yeah, so I'm glad that they got reinstated. And it's kind of cool that accidentally happened, because now they have the longest video ever. And it's like, what they say, 218 million, or whether it's million or billion, that's a lot of fucking people, okay? That's a lot of fucking views. Like, you compete with that shit. So in the next story in today's Nerd News Update, the TSA bans employee use of TikTok for the agency's outreach and national security concerns. I've just butchered the word security. I don't know why. But according to CNN.com, the Transportation Security Administration has banned employee use of TikTok for the agency's social media engagement as the U.S. questions whether the China-owned app poses a threat to national security. The announcement came after Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called attention to and urged the end of the TSA's use of the application in a statement on Sunday, saying that a federal agency's security risks on the platform are very real. A small number of TSA employees have previously used TikTok on their personal devices to create videos for use in TSA social media outreach, but that practice has since been discontinued, the TSA said in a statement on CNN. Oh, I read that weird. The practice has since been continued, the TSA said in a statement on CNN. The agency said that while employees have posted from their own devices, it has not had an official TikTok account. The Transportation Security Administration, aka the TSA, has an active and award-winning presence on several social media platforms. However, the TSA has never published any content to TikTok, nor has it ever directed viewers to TikTok, the TSA said in a statement. National security experts have raised concerns about the application's collection of our data, especially in light of laws that compel Chinese companies to support and cooperate with the intelligence work of the Chinese government, according to the statement. Schumer and Senator Tom Cotton requested in October that the U.S. intelligence community access the national security risks of TikTok and other Chinese-owned platforms. The Department of Defense, the State Department and the Department of Homeland Security have all since banned TikTok on government devices and discouraged personnel from using it. In a Sunday letter to the TSA, Schumer expressed concern that the agency had not yet done the same. These videos sure do make you chuckle. They're creative, but China might be laughing at these TSA posts for very different reasons, and that should concern us, Schumer said in a statement. Schumer cited, I can't say the last name Schumer without thinking about Amy Schumer, so I'm just picturing a chick's face on this dude's head. Schumer cited a Thanksgiving video retweeted by the TSA from an agency spokesperson's official account of an official demonstrating the nopes and yeps of what can and cannot be carried onto flights, and a Valentine's Day video with romantic tips from travelers. So basically, since the TSA is a government institution, I think, right? Anyway, since they are government, or at least a government-ish institution, they're pretty much basically saying they're worried about the fact that if their employees use TikTok, and since TikTok is a Chinese-based company, and since Chinese-based companies usually work with the government very openly, they feel very worried that some government secrets might get spilled through TikTok onto the Chinese-owned platform. And to that, I think it's really weird, because considering that I just read that story from CNN, which you could fucking access from around the world. I be like, especially during wartime. Like, y'all ever notice when we actually actively fighting at war with someone, we broadcast all the shit that we're doing on fucking CNN and Fox and MSNBC and shit. So what the fuck is really the difference between that and government employees using their TikTok accounts while they at work? I mean, in all honesty, the nopes and the yeps sound like a really good way to figure out what the fuck you supposed to have and not have on a flight when you know what I'm saying, when you flying on airlines and shit. Like, I feel like a video like that would be very helpful to let me know I should not be carrying more than 3 ounces of any liquids on the plane, or else they'll think I'm a terrorist, probably shove something up my ass, and then try to put me in jail, because they don't know what the fuck I got going on. I know that last part was a little bit traumatic, but that's what I feel like the government metaphorically does, is just shove themselves up your ass. And they don't really give you a whole lot of say so on whether or not they're gonna do it or not. So, dear TSA, let your employees use TikTok. China don't give a fuck about what some TSA agents is doing on TikTok. Whether it's dancing to the baby or Lil Baby or Weezy F Baby. I don't think they give a damn at all. And I believe, I believe that is I believe that's all on today's Nerd News update. Oh wait, no, we got one more story. Okay, so y'all remember that that Tesla on autopilot that had crashed or whatever? Like, I don't know if it was a big deal or not. I don't have television, so I don't know what the fuck be on cable. But I do know that I remember hearing a lot about, like, the Tesla that was supposed to have this superior ass autopilot feature shit going on, and it crashed. Now, that's definitely going to set Tesla back. According to TheVerge.com, the Tesla autopilot, it was distracted driving to blame in the deadly 2018 crash. The National Transportation Safety Board said Tuesday that Tesla's autopilot driver assistance system was one of the probable causes of a fatal 2018 crash into a concrete barrier. In addition, the safety board said that the driver was playing a mobile game while using autopilot before the crash, and investigators also determined that he was overly confident in autopilot's capabilities. The safety board arrived at those probable causes after a nearly 2-year investigation into the crash. NTSB investigators also named a number of contributing factors, including that the crash attenuator in front of the barrier was damaged and had not been repaired by California's Transportation Department. Caltrans in a timely manner. Had the crash attenuator been replaced, NTSB investigators said Tuesday that the driver, Walter Huang, likely would have survived. The NTSB shared its findings at the end of a 3-hour-long hearing on Tuesday. During the hearing, board members took issue with Tesla's approach to mitigating the misuse of autopilot. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration lack approach to regulating partial automation technology, and Apple Huang's employer for not having a distracted driver policy. Huang was playing the mobile game on a company-issued iPhone. In the crash, we saw an over-reliance on technology, we saw distraction, we saw a lack of policy prohibiting cell phone use while driving, and we saw infrastructure failures, which when combined led to this tragic loss. NTSB Chairman Robert Sumwalt said at the end of the hearing on Tuesday, we urge Tesla to continue working and improve their autopilot technology and for NHTSA to fulfill its oversight responsibility to ensure that corrective action is taken where necessary. It's time to stop enabling drivers in any partially automated vehicle to pretend that they have driverless cars. The investigators' findings. On March 23, 2018, Wong was traveling south on US 101 using autopilot on his way to work in Mountain View, California. He eventually approached a section of the highway where State Route 85 begins by splitting off to the left of US 101. He was in the leftmost HOV lane thanks to the clean air sticker that electric vehicle owners are eligible for. And as he left the exit lane for the State Route 85 started to split off to the left. The autopilot system in Wong's Model X briefly lost sight of the lines marking its lane. Investigators showed photos on Tuesday of the worn-down lane markers. And autopilot started following the rightmost lane marker for the exit lane, and Huang's Model X steered into the gore area that separates the exit lane from the rest of the highway. A second or so later, his Model X smashed into the damaged crash into NErDer and the concrete barrier. He died a few hours later in the hospital. So all in all, I know you ain't supposed to text and drive, but you should also fucking not play video games and drive, even if your car has motherfucking autopilot. Thanks to The Verge for that story. There's more on that, and you can look that up on The Verge if you want to read the rest of that blog post. But I think I got the gist of that. You know, I got you guys the gist of the point. Like, you know, it was a big deal because, you know, when they were testing it, it was supposed to be like, oh, y'all got this superior autopilot technology, so, you know, a person could just not even drive. But the thing is, you should still have some sort of preservation of life and the desire to pay attention to what's going on in your surroundings, even if your car is supposedly... I mean, you're the beta tester for fucking autopilot. You didn't expect that there might be a hiccup in the plan somewhere along the way, motherfucker? Like... I mean, I'm not trying to get down on them. I'm just saying, like, I don't think Tesla is 100% at fault here. I feel like the driver was distracted. He distracted himself. He played a video game. Like, it's not even like you were text messaging and you were kind of looking up still. You were playing the whole video game, not even paying attention. So he might not have even known he was about to crash into the last very fucking second. Which is crazy, because I am entirely too paranoid for that shit. But that is all for today's nerd news update. We're gonna get into today's topic in just a second, but not before we tell you guys about our sponsors. Big shouts out to Sweet K's Cakery. They got all your cake, cupcake, cake pop needs, desserts, anything you need for your baby shower, your gender reveal, your baby's party, your party, grown-up party, kid party, whatever you need. You got cake, cupcake, cake pop needs for. Holla at Sweet K's Cakery on Instagram at sweet_K's_cakery. Shout out to also Creative Customs. You need custom-made apparel. Make sure you shout out Creative Customs, KRE, the number 8TIVE _KUSTOMS. Sorry about that pause. I had to make sure that was accurate. But yeah, make sure y'all, like, I'm talking about anything, bro. Shirts, drawers, bras, and all. Like, if you need a fucking, you want some Louis drawers, you got some Louis drawers, bro. You got some socks that you want to get, like, with your name on them, you can holler at Creative Customs for that. Whatever you need, when it comes to clothing, shoes, and apparel. I'm talking about, like, ladies, y'all get y'all own custom Louis bag, Gucci bag, Prada bag with your name in it, and it's real. Like, it don't be bootleg shit, it be real shit. So make sure y'all holler at Creative Customs, man. Huge shouts out to 258 The Gate online radio your next favorite online radio station. And big, huge shouts out to Marketing the Pie Management / marketing firm. When it comes to being a content creator and getting your face and your brand spread out as far and wide as possible, Marketing the Pie is the place to be when it comes to that, man. So make sure y'all look them up. If y'all need that service, they got reasonable prices and they gonna hook you up, bro. Can't move on without talking about some of the friends of the show. My guy, Cool Cutlass, Heartache PKB 2 out now on all streaming platforms. That being Spotify, Apple Music, and such. Also, my guy, Von Roberts, has his Nightcap stand-up comedy EP out right now on Spotify as well as Apple Music. And you can catch the whole full video version of the special on YouTube for free. It's for free, bitches, so go and check this shit out, man. Huge shouts out to my guy, Hitman, the Hitmaker. His Come Up mixtape has finally come out. The highly anticipated project is finally here. You can check that out on Spotify, Apple Music, as well as all of your mixtape viewing sites like Spinrilla, My Mixtapes, as well as live mixtapes, man. Shout out to that guy, Hitman, the Hitmaker. You're doing your thing, bro. I see you, man. Make sure y'all check out the Come Up. And now on to today's topic. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Hidden Figures. But it was this really good movie that Taraji P. Henson was in, and it was about this mathematician lady that pretty much fucking was the reason that NASA was able to go, like, do a lot of the shit that they were able to do, and they never got a lot of the credit. Like, her and her team of female African-American mathematicians never got the credit that they deserved for the shit that they did. However, they were finally, well, I don't say never, for a long time they didn't get credit, and then finally they were immortalized in a movie. So the woman that was based on was the woman by the name of Katherine Johnson. And unfortunately, a couple of days ago on February the 24th, 2020, she was called home to glory at the age of 101. So today's topic is really more of just a little bit of a shallow dive into who she was and to pay homage to an OG urban nerd, because she was a real bitch, but she was a mathematician, which made her a nerd by default, which made her one of us, guys. So let's pay homage. Katherine Johnson, born Creola Catherine Coleman on August the 26th of 1918, also known as Catherine Goebel, was an American mathematician whose calculations of orbital mechanics as a NASA employee were critical to the success of the first and subsequent U.S. crewed space flights. During her 35-year career at NASA and its predecessor, she earned a reputation for mastering complex manual calculations and helped pioneer the use of computers to perform the tasks. The space agency noted her sophisticated role as one of the first African-American women to work as a NASA scientist. Oh, excuse me. I had a little burp. Johnson's work included calculating trajectories, launch windows, and emergency return paths for Project Mercury space flights, including those for astronaut Alan Shepard and the first American in space, John Glenn, the first American in orbit, and rendezvous paths for the Apollo Lunar Module and Command Module on flights to the moon. Her calculations were also essential to the beginning of the Space Shuttle program, and she worked on plans for a mission to Mars. In 2015, President Barack Obama awarded Johnson the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was presented the Silver Snoopy Award by NASA astronaut Leland D. Melvin in 2016. In 2019, Johnson was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal. She was portrayed by Taraji P. Henson as the lead character in the 2016 film Hidden Figures. Here's a little bit of her early life and education. Creola Catherine Coleman was born on August 26th of 1918 in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, to Joylette and Joshua Coleman. She was the youngest of 4 children. Her mother was a teacher and her father was a lumberman, farmer, and handyman, and worked at the Greenbrier Hotel. Coleman showed strong mathematical abilities from an early age. Because Greenbrier County did not offer public schooling for African American students past the 8th grade, the Colemans arranged for their children to attend high school in Institute, West Virginia. This school was on campus of West Virginia State College. Johnson was enrolled when she was only 10 years old. The family split their time between Institute during the school year and White Sulphur Springs in the summer. After graduating from high school at age 14, Johnson enrolled in West Virginia State, a historically black college. As a student, she took every math course offered by the college. Multiple professors mentored her, including the chemist and mathematician Angie Turner King, who had mentored Coleman throughout high school, and W.W. Schieffelin Claytor, the third African American to receive a PhD in mathematics. Claytor added new mathematics courses just for Catherine. She graduated summa cum laude in 1937 with degrees in mathematics and French at age 18. Johnson was a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. She took on a teaching job at a public school in Marion, Virginia. In 1939, after marrying her first husband, James Goebel, she left her teaching job and enrolled in a graduate math program. She quit after 1 year after becoming pregnant and choosing to focus on her family. She was the first African-American woman to attend a graduate school at West Virginia. She was the first African-American woman to attend graduate school at West Virginia University in Morgantown, West Virginia. Through WVCS's president, Dr. John W. Davis, she became one of 3 African-American students and the only woman selected to integrate the graduate school after the 1938 United States Supreme Court ruling of Missouri X. Rel Gaines versus Canada. The court ruled that states the court ruled that states that provided public higher education to white students also had to provide it to black students. To be satisfied either by establishing black colleges and universities or by admitting black students to previously white-only universities. So, you know what I'm saying? She makes real black history, and that's some awesome shit to talk about in February. But that was, like, they really didn't dive deeply enough into her life in the movie. They really just was talking about her contributions to NASA. But some shit from her career. Johnson decided on a career as a research mathematician. Although this was a difficult field for African Americans and women to enter, the first jobs she found were in teaching. At a family gathering in 1952, a relative mentioned that the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics was hiring mathematicians. That's NACA. At the Langley Memorial Aeronautical Laboratory based in Hampton, Virginia near Langley Field, NACA hired African American mathematicians as well as whites for their guidance and navigation department. Johnson accepted a job offer from the agency in June 1953. According to an oral history archived by the National Visionary Leadership Project, at first, she, Johnson, worked in a pool of women performing math calculations. They were basically calculators. If you remember the movie, they were the first. I said show because I met this Jamaican dude that calls all movies shows, and now every time I talk about a movie, I say the word show because his head, the shit that he says just pops into my fucking head. However, they were basically, they were referred to in women in the pool as virtual computers who wore skirts. They were computers who wore skirts. Their main job was to read the data from the black boxes of planes and carry out their precise mathematical task. Then one day, Catherine and a colleague were temporarily assigned to help the all-male flight research team. Catherine's knowledge of analytical geometry helped make quick allies of male bosses and colleagues to the extent of that. They forgot to return me to the pool. While the racial and gender barriers were always there, Catherine said she ignored them. Catherine was assertive, asking to be included in editorial meetings where no woman had gone before. She simply told people she had done the work and that she belonged. From 1953 to 1958, Johnson worked as a computer. She was a human computer, analyzing topics such as gas elevation for aircraft. Originally assigned to the West Area Computer Station supervised by mathematician Dorothy Van Gogh, Johnson was reassigned to the Guidance and Control Division of Langley's Flight Research Division. It was staffed by white male engineers, in keeping with state racial segregation laws and federal workspace segregation introduced under President Woodrow Wilson in the early 20th century. Johnson and the other African American women in the computing pool were required to work, eat, and use restrooms that were separate from those of their white peers. Their office was labeled as color computers. In an interview with WHRO.TV, which was, I don't know if you kids know, but TV was the internet of its day back then. Like, if you wanted to know some shit, you had to watch TV. So, all the channels had fucking names like that, and the radio stations had names like that, because there were no websites to go to. History lesson. But yeah, so in an interview with WHRO-TV, Johnson stated that she didn't feel the segregation at NASA because everybody there was doing research. You had a mission and you worked on it, and it was important to do your job and play bridge at lunch. She added, I didn't feel any segregation. I knew it was there, but I didn't feel it. NACA disbanded the color computing pool in 1958 when the agency was superseded by NASA, which adopted digital computers. Although the installation was desegregated, forms of discrimination were still pervasive. Johnson recalled that era. We needed to be assertive as women in those days, assertive and aggressive. And the degree to which we had to be that way depended on where you were. I had to be. In the early days of NASA, women were not allowed to put their names on the reports. No women in my division had her name on the report. I was working with Ted Shapinski, and he wanted to leave and go to Houston. But Henry Pearson, our supervisor, he was not a fan of women. Kept pushing him to finish the report we were working on. Finally, Ted told him Catherine should finish the report. She's done most of the work anyway. So Ted left Pearson with no choice. I finished the report and my name went on it, and that was the first time a woman in our division had her name on something. From 1958 until her retirement in 1986, Johnson worked as an aerospace technologist, moving during her career to the spacecraft controls branch. She calculated the trajectory for the May 5th, 1961 space flight of Alan Shepard, the first American in space. She also included the launch window for the 1961 Mercury mission. She plotted backup navigation charts for astronauts in case of electronic failures. When NASA used electronic computers for the first time to calculate John Glenn's orbit around Earth, officials called on Johnson to verify the computer's numbers. Glenn had asked for her specifically and refused to fly unless Johnson verified the calculations. Biography.com states, these were far more difficult calculations to account for the gravitational pulls of celestial bodies. Author Margaret Lee Shatterly stated, so the astronaut who became a hero looked to this black woman in the still segregated South at the time as one of the key parts of making sure his mission was a success. She added that in a time where computing was women's work and engineering was left to the men, it really does have to do with us over the course of time of not valuing that work that was done by women, however necessary, as much as we might. And it has been taking history to get a perspective on that. Johnson later worked directly with digital computers. Her ability and reputation for accuracy helped to establish confidence in the new technology. In 1961, her work helped to ensure the Alan Shepard Freedom 7 Mercury capsule would be quickly found after landing using the accurate trajectory that had been established. She also helped to calculate the trajectory for the 1969 Apollo 11 flight to the moon. During the moon landing, Johnson was at a meeting in the Pocono Mountains. She and a few others crowded around a small television screen watching the first steps on the moon. In 1970, Johnson worked on the Apollo 13 moon mission. When the mission was aborted, her work on backup procedures and charts helped set a safe path for the crew's return to Earth, creating a one-star observation system that will allow astronauts to determine her location with accuracy. In a 2010 interview, Johnson recalled, everybody was concerned about them getting there. We were concerned about them getting back. Later in her career, Johnson worked on the space shuttle program, the Earth Resources Satellite, and on plans for a mission to Mars. Johnson spent her later years encouraging students to enter the fields of science, engineering, mathematics, and technology. Which, I don't know if you guys noticed, that is the acronym for STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, STEM. So, if you are a young African-American lady and you're participating in a STEM program, and you can already, or you're a parent of that child and you're excited about the opportunities that's opened up for your child, you have Katherine Johnson to thank for that. In 1939, Catherine married James Francis Goebel. They had 3 daughters, Constance, Joylette, and Catherine. In 1953, she and James moved her family to Newport News, Virginia to pursue a new job opportunity. In 1956, James Goebel died of an inoperable brain tumor. In 1959, Catherine Goebel married James A. Jim Johnson, a United States Army officer and veteran of the Korean War. The pair were married for 60 years until Jim's death in March 2019 at the age of 93. Johnson, who had 6 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren, lived in Hampton, Virginia. She encouraged her grandchildren and students to pursue careers in science and technology. She was a member of Carver Memorial Presbyterian Church for 50 years, and she was laid to rest at a retirement home in Newport News on February 24, 2020 at age 101. Following her death, Jim Bredenstein, NASA's administrator, described her as an American hero and stated that her pioneering legacy will never be forgotten. And we give you a big salute from me and Nano Kitty Cat, who's not here, to Katherine Johnson for being the OG urban nerd of her day and paving the way for nerds for the future. We salute you and we love you. Rest in peace, Katherine Johnson. And that is all I actually have for this week's episode of Urban Nerd, of this week's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly. I thank you guys, as I always do, for tuning in and nerding out. I will catch you guys next week. My name is Space. I was here, but now I'm